ولا تحفل بمالك واله عنه فليس المال إلا ما علمت وليس لجاهل في النار.
Where do we start from? If we see now the situation of our ummah and the situation of the entire humanity, and we are carrying the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are carrying the final message that Allah sent to this humanity to be saved in this life from the misery of this life and from the wrath of Allah on the Day of Judgment. But as reformers, where do we start from? How do we need to think in order to begin, in order to start? How do we work? What do we do? What do we avoid while we're working together towards that improvement, towards that reform of this entire globe? We see the chaos around us. We see the suppression and oppression, and we see the injustice that is actually dominating the entire globe. And we are here to carry on the message of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, to be on the footsteps of our noble messenger alayhi salatu wasalam. قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ عَلَى بَصِيرَةٍ أَنَا وَمَنِ اتَّبَعَنِي وَسُبْحَانَ اللَّهِ وَمَا أَنَا مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. على بصيرة. That basira requires us to understand, to think freely for ourselves from the book of Allah and from the seerah of our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. These are our sources only. We have nothing to get our way of thinking, our principles, our methods. We have no other source than the book of Allah and the history of Rasulullah. In these episodes, we will together, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, look at the book of Allah and the history of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam to see when Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam came to this earth at the time of Jāhiliyyah, how he sallallahu alayhi wasallam began to reform this earth and to change it and to spread the deen of Allah to cover every corner of this globe today as we see it. How he sallallahu alayhi wasallam changed his own city and the rest of the Arabian Peninsula in the way that we know. How Islam spread to dominate most of the earth in very short period. We have to get together and listen to these episodes bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, seeking the pleasure of Allah and His guidance. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from me and you, and may Allah azza wa jal enable us to understand what we hear and say, and may Allah azza wa jal above all enable us to act upon it in order to be successful in this life and in the hereafter. And I'll see you in the coming episodes.